facts are all around. She says it's easier to keep her head down. She looks at you strange when you say there's hope. That's how rebellions work.
Don't you know F105 starting things off with Rebel Girl. This is Flying Casual for Monday, March. Oh, my calendar is still on February. It's March 2nd. Guess what? Brock's here with us. Brock is in the hood. Hey, Brock.
Damn March weather.
It is. And apparently, I don't know if you've been getting rain, but apparently it's going to freeze tomorrow. So here we go. What?
Did you say that I was in the hood?
No, I did not.
I
said, I don't know how it was where you are. But Dale Erdman says, fine, he will calm down. Heidi's here, Rachel's here, and 2med2. For everybody wondering, 2med2, 8:30 p.m. tonight. You can check out his live stream. It's going to go for, it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. Rachel says, hi, Brock. Oh,
hi.
Actually, hold on. Rachel is now a moderator. Congratulations. You can moderate.
You made it.
The fate of everyone's comments are in your hand. You and Heidi, Rachel and Heidi, control what everyone. Heidi, I don't know what 63 means. I don't know. Your numbers are too high in the United States. Oh, I just turned off the music. Brock, were you at C2E2 this past weekend?
Oh yeah, totally. I was in Chicago. I was Chicago adjacent. No.
You've been to Chicago several times, though.
Go to that one, and I love Chicago, so boom.
Yeah, you love Chicago.
Yeah.
How many times?
One time I went.
You've only been there once?
Yeah. The only time, one time.
Yeah, I have not been. I was going to go for the first time to Celebration, but of course, I could not make it this year. Got plans to go to Anaheim with everybody else. I'm just typing away on the chat. Whose Rebel Scum is live? Hello, Charlie Skywalker's here, the victor of the vote of no confidence on Knights of Ren versus. Everyone should ask for his autograph. Rez is here as well.
The Praetorian historian himself is here. That's fantastic.
No, Praetorian historian. Facts over rap. That will go on forever. But I got a C2E2. Of course, Del Rey was there, and they gave out. I don't know if anybody went, but they gave out posters for the High Republic, the Charles Soule book, the Light of the Jedi, I believe it's called. They gave out posters for that book. It looked really nice. But they also, Brock, were selling early editions of the Rise of Skywalker novelization. I believe so that they could burn Twitter to the ground. I believe that's why, so they could burn it to the ground. Rural Farm Boy is here. Automated Joy is here. And Pete is here. Things are going well. Give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Also, Brock, do we condone burner accounts and asking our friends to make, to like Brian Colangelo it up and make burner accounts, but only say nice things about us and subscribe to us multiple times everywhere? Or do we not? We should, no, don't do that.
The Rebel Scum cannot be bought, so
that's what makes us scum.
I've straight up stolen that from the Doughboys podcast, but he cannot be.
You said so. We have 2 episodes coming this week, everybody. Episode 157 tomorrow at 7 p.m. and episode 158 Thursday at 7 p.m. all times Eastern. Is it standard time right now, or is it savings time right now? We're in savings time. Standard time is on Saturday, right? Sunday. Brock, you're the smart one here. You gotta.
Well, no. When we spring forward, isn't it the 21st? I mean, I
no,
think we're close.
It's the 8th. It's March 8th.
Is it March 8th? Oh, there we go. I mean, we got an extra day the other day, so hooray!
Yeah,
hooray for extra time.
An extra day for fanboys to cry out.
It's like when you go on an elevator and it's like floor 12, then floor 14. When you're on 14, you know where you are.
Sooner Thrawn's here. Sooner says, so we had to wait for the book to learn Sidious was a clone. We're gonna get to that in a little bit, but I want to talk to Brock about fanboy, like Star Wars fans need to calm down. And
is that really a separate topic to what what we want to talk about? I mean,
Well, no, but
couldn't
it'll
we-
bleed. It'll bleed into it. It's like, it's all. Ooh. But the reason why I'm saying it to calm down is, and I commented on Girls with Sabers, retweeted somewhere where it said that I think it was screen. Everybody has blocked Screen Rant, probably for the best. They're kind of they're like the Forbes of screen ranting. And they had this thing how the novelization apparently mentions, and we won't talk too much about the novelization until we read it. I think that's fair, right? Like, I mean, people have posted things. We'll mention that, but until we actually read it, we're not going to really discuss how it is, because we have no idea really. This could all be somebody could have printed a fake novel and posted on Twitter for all we know.
Yeah, that's true.
So, in the book, apparently, there's something, and everybody watching could kind of inform me a little bit better. Oh, there we go. As my phone goes off, my gun gonna horn.
Daryl.
It was not Daryl. When are you
He
gonna?
said he was.
He's not going to. You Rebel Scum podcast cannot be bought. Apparently, so anyway, so the kiss at the end was more a platonic kiss. It was, I think it was out of desperation, or like it was like, oh, in the moment, which J.J. Abrams alluded to a little while ago. And people are up in arms about that. And Girls with Sabers kind of tweeted out and were like, what? And I was like, and I just responded like, you know what? If you watched the movie and you saw that kiss and you thought it was a romantic kiss, it's still a romantic kiss. I don't think a book based on the movie can change that for you. And for me, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but whatever that book says will live in the novelization realm for eternity. It'll be with Revenge of the Sith, which is a fantastic book. Probably better than the movie. Fantastic book, though. There's things in all of these. I think the Phantom Menace novelization, Anakin says to Padme, I'm going to marry you one day. There are things that happen in the book that don't happen in the movies. And what you saw on the theater screen, whether you liked it or not, I would say that's how you should take it. Don't worry about the book ticking you off or not going into. Like, there was no way in this book that Ben Solo was coming back as a ghost. Apparently, though, he does have a final word to say to Rey.
Ooh, that's fun. I mean, that whole scene is just ambiguous in general. I don't know how like a book's really. I mean, I guess you hear their inner monologues, but I don't know. There's like a book like that. Perhaps. I mean, I'm just trying to think. Like Last Jedi, you have that opening where like it's Luke having this dream of what his life could have been like if he had never joined the rebellion, and that's sort of from his point of view. I don't know. I think there's so many things happening in that scene. It's like, who do you choose? I guess Rey, because Rey is like the main character of this movie, I suppose. I don't know. I'm excited to read the book because I enjoyed reading The Last Jedi. So, like, I don't know what to think. But I stand by it's so ambiguous, and perhaps that's the best part. It's lost in translation where like, what do you think she whispered to him? I don't know. And that's why we call it The Prestige. See, I always like to drop that in.
I like Four Leaf Clover saying the Rise of Skywalker Lego movie is going to be awesome and clear up so much conclusion. That's where my hope lies now.
See, like, we joke, that would be fantastic. That is total reason. Like, give all the answers in the Lego movie. We're like, I'll watch that.
I would too. But for me, look, the book, I think the book should be better than the movie, because you could do more in books and novels, and I'm okay with that. But I also think we have to look at it separately and not really, if you predicted Palpatine was a clone, don't get so high on it. And if you thought Rey and Kylo Ren were in love and the book kind of contradicts that a little bit, don't get too low on yourself either. Just kind of take it for what it is. Somebody else's story. This is, I mean, at the end of the day, it's also Ray Carson adapting a screenplay by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. So the author might have wanted to do something that they couldn't do because that's not what the book is. So it's like you could write down that Luke had a dream about what his life would have been like before becoming a Jedi, but that has no impact on the plot at all. It's a nice little aside. It's a fun read. It's interesting and everything. But you're allowed to put that in there because it doesn't change what happened in the movie. And I think that's that's what we have to remember is this book isn't going to change the movie. It might make you look at a few things from a different point of view, but it's not going to change anything.
I think that's so maybe there's more to the because you only see like this reveal is like a screen or picture of the page, right? There's nothing more to it than that, right? From this book.
Yes, that's I haven't gone out of my way to look at much of it, but from what I've seen, like I just randomly scrolled on Twitter and I sent you that one page that was posted.
I don't know if I'm trying to like pull something out of nothing, but it's like it's not that exciting. Like a clone. I mean, hooray, clones. I want to know more about like how he got there, and you telling me he's just a clone that was maybe in a tube somewhere. But you know what? If he's a clone, fine. Is there going to be more explanation? That's what I want to know about. And like, do we get that? That's what I want to talk about. It's like, oh, it's by the way, I was a clone the whole time. It's like, no, like, yeah, that works for Sixth Sense. It's like I was dead the whole time. You're like, what? Like, but I'm assuming because that scene's right off the top in the movie. Like that's probably like page 5, page 4 in the book. And I'm like, couldn't you read a little bit more and see if there's anything more? I don't know.
Here's my problem. Not my problem. This is, I think, the reason why he is a clone. And they decided to make him a clone is because, if you remember, months before the movie came out, they were interviewing Terrio and Abrams and all of these people, and they're all like, oh, you have to respect what Anakin did in killing Palpatine, and we always thought about that. And the easiest answer to that is, well, he's dead, he's a clone. And then you don't have to explain anything. You're just like, no, he cloned Snoke. He cloned, like, they're just clones. Just the Sith working clones. We know clones because of Attack of the Clones. Clone. He's, so I think that's how they got around the Anakin thing, not taking away from what Anakin did, Anakin's purpose. I think that's the thing. Again, I think this whole thing comes down to, Brock, that when they started the sequel trilogy, they didn't have an end game for it. They knew they wanted to bring Star Wars back. They knew they wanted to tell stories, but they didn't know why they wanted to tell these stories. They just knew that they wanted to tell stories.
Neat.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with the clone though, because whatever. I'm reading the chat. Sorry.
I don't get excited about it. It's like, though I'll be positive here. Like, when I read the book, maybe there's more to it. Maybe we get more explanation. Like, imagine like a flashback with Vader and Palpatine at some point in that movie. That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I thought we were going to get something along those lines. But Charlie Skywalker I really don't get this since he was a clone. Why is he all jacked up? Why is he all jacked up? And so basically, I think he's asking, why is he all old and not a brand spanking new Sheevy? And this is what I take away from it, Brock, and let me know what you think, is I think the dark side matter that absorbs this clone, just like Snoke, I think it eats away at them and rips them apart. And that's why he needs his granddaughter to come in. And now the question, I think this raises an even bigger question about Rey. Is Rey the daughter of a clone Palpatine like Boba Fett is of Jango? Is that what Rey's the daughter of now? Was there a clone of Sheevy P running around that he was like, I want this one to be my son? I do a really good GVP.
I like how this this whole series is just about absentee fathers. Like, it's like Anakin doesn't have a father. Anakin's not there for his son, and now Palpatine's not there for his granddaughter or whatever, or even for his son that we know nothing about. See, that's what I want answers on. But going back to your question, I don't know. It's just maybe I think it's still lazy. Like, it's just like he was a clone. I'm like, great. Like, how I would accept it is like, you see Kylo walk into Exegol. You see these tubes with Snoke in it. Fine. Then he keeps walking, and there's tubes of maybe old clones. So you're like, oh, this is a cloning thing. So you see Tamara Morrison in different variations in the thing, and maybe you're just like, oh, look, that looks like Echo, and that looks like Rex, and you'd be like, whoa! And but then you go on, and then there's Ian McKellen in different variations of the Emperor Palpatine, and like they don't look right because he's still trying to figure it out. That I can accept because it's just like without saying anything, you're like, oh, this is the process of what he was trying to do. But like, I don't know. It's like I gotta look at what you sent me again and see if I even get like I don't know.
In that passage that I sent you, Kylo is looking around at Exegol and he sees this blue liquid going, and he says this is stuff that he learned when he was learning about the Clone Wars. So it is like a cloning facility. But why don't they? But that's the thing. Like this is the I guess the book to the film, and this is something that they probably could have shown in the film is like if it's a cloning facility on Exegol, why not just mention that in the movie? Why not be like I think the Hobbit says something. What's his name? Dominic Monaghan. What was he? Mary, right? Or was he Pip? Was he Pip? Pip or Mary? Which one was he?
He was. No, wait. Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, he says, does he say cloning in the movie?
I think so. I don't know. He just announces that like it's the Emperor and he's been alive the whole time. Cause like I feel like I don't think he says cloning. I feel like this is like a revelation that it's actually a clone. We've just assumed it's a clone. Could be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like they could have added little things in it to give us a hint of what was going on, because the biggest, again, everything in Star Wars doesn't need to be explained. I think that needs to be said, or can't be said enough, is you don't have to explain everything. But the other the other side of that coin is this is a 42-year-old franchise. 40 whatever year old. Yeah, 42-year-old franchise. C-3PO has that joke. And it's already established, right? It's not like when they made the first Star Wars, nothing was established. The Emperor's backstory doesn't matter. Vader's backstory, nothing matters. We're meeting these characters for the first time. Whereas now, we've lived in a universe for 40 some odd years. We've seen the prequels, we've seen the originals, and now it's like, well, every time you add something to it, you've got to kind of hint at us why it's happening, why is it there? And I think Palpatine's Return is something that I thought, you know, we need an answer for Snoke, just because if Snoke was around all this time, why did we never hear about this character? That's why I always thought there needed to be something explained about Snoke, not because I actually cared about it. I think just because we just watched 6 movies prior where there's no hint of anyone else in the galaxy, and we've been told that when Vader and Palpatine go down, all the Sith are gone, and all of a sudden Snoke's up. Well, he's not a Sith, but he's still a dark side user. Like, where was he if he's this powerful? And again, my point with Palpatine being kind of like the dark side kind of eating away at him, again, it compares to Snoke, and they kind of inform me of that with Snoke at the beginning when you see all the Snokes in the tube and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like looking at this here, it's like it says this clone contained the Emperor's actual spirit. Like, why can't it just be the Emperor is a spirit and that's that? Like, it's like it still works with the story where he needs to inhabit Rey's body, right, or take her body so he can be alive again. So it's just like, yeah, I think I buy a ghost more than I buy a clone. You know what I mean? It's doing the same thing, but like, if it was just like, it's, I don't know why I keep thinking Aladdin, like he's a genie. I maybe like Aladdin, and it's like, free me, and I'm a spirit, and it's like, I think that makes more sense because you're like, you don't need an explanation, like you just said, you don't need an explanation, but a ghost, like a Sith ghost, Force ghost, whatever you want to call it, a Palpatine, makes more sense to me than like, oh, I'm just, these machines are keeping me alive. What? I can accept that because like he's so powerful and he's got his plans all figured out that he could defeat death, I guess, or like trick death into being still alive. I accept that, but I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, dark side Force ghosts, they say they can't exist, and the Rise of Skywalker kind of lets you know that the Sith all kind of live with the rule of two. That's why the rule of two is there, so that the Sith can continue on, but within an individual, whereas the Jedi are all spirits and whatever. And then that's not until they all come together that they can overpower the Sith once and for all. But that is something that we only learn in the Rise of Skywalker. So they could have gone another route and been like, yeah, he's a dark side Force ghost. He is the first Sith to really figure this out. And now you've got a problem on your hands. And I think then all of a sudden that's even a way where you could get all those Force ghosts you had the voices of come back. But Brock, I got a side Akbar right now. Do you think there was any truth to the fact that maybe Force ghosts were in, and I think this is nonsense, but any Force ghosts weren't in this movie because Chinese censors wouldn't allow ghosts in the movies?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I don't believe it though, because Yoda was a ghost in Last Jedi and they still did it.
Yeah, but like, he's a Force ghost, but it doesn't even. I guess he kind of is transparent. No, I mean, like, Luke is a ghost, more of a ghost in this. Like, he see through him, like. But yeah, no, I can get behind that, I suppose. Though, like, I don't see anybody like trying to give in to China since they don't like Star Wars. But I know that like
they want that money though.
Okay, well, in that box office is you want it.
Jonathan Davis has a question. He says, "My question is, how did they get CVP's DNA, and how did they find his spirit?" So, well, I don't think his spirit has anything to do with it. I think it's just his DNA, and his DNA has all the dark side and all that. But I'm in my head canon, he created all of these clones. Rey's father was a clone of him, just like Boba Fett was a clone of Jango, and he raised it like his child. But this ended up resenting him because he's like, I don't want to be evil. That will be a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's so because like I can kind of accept that like maybe Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians and Shmi, and that's how Anakin comes. I can accept that, and even though again it's ambiguous and there's no real truth behind it, it's just like, yeah, okay. So like if we're gonna go down that road that whoever Palpatine's son is, if he's a clone, it's like it's still I don't like it. Like I would prefer that he just again found some woman, manipulated something in her. He's not a Jedi though. I whatever. If you can make I think if you can manipulate midichlorians to make the all-powerful Jedi, like manipulating midichlorians to make a regular person doesn't seem that far-fetched. See, I would accept that. That makes more sense to me. I don't know why, but like it's like you said, it's like you don't really need a ton of explanation, but when you get it, you're like, yeah, okay. I don't know.
Were Palpatine and Snoke in the same pickle jar as for leaf clover?
Yeah.
They're pickling together. Where's Automated Joy? Palpatine Baby's a Star Wars story. I'd watch that. All voiced by Frank Oz. You're getting your Snoke juice on my Palpatine. You're getting your Palpatine on my Snoke juice. This pickling is going too far. I thank Aaron Quinton for the pickling. Just reading the chat now, see what's going on. Disney Desi says, if Rey's dad was a clone, they should have made him look like CVP. He didn't even look remotely related. Okay, stop putting holes in my theories, okay? You can't... It's not like this was a well thought out one by me, but I mean,
it's a simple move, though. You're like, oh, like just mildly like Ian McDiarmid. That's it. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's him. But I've finally finished watching all of Clone Wars, and the last season where like Tim Curry takes over as the voice, it's just so jarring that I'm just like, ugh. But you know what? It's funny because I know no spoilers, but spoilers for the new Clone Wars episodes. The big reveal is that Clone Trooper Echo is alive, and the Separatists are using him as a algorithm to like figure out the Republic's moves and stuff like that because he was close with Rex. That is very cool, but I just rewatched the whole series and I don't like when it was revealed that Echo is alive. I'm like, who? I remember Echo. I did not remember. I had to look it up. I was like, when does he die? I'm like, oh, that episode didn't faze me. So like, this reminds me of that where it's just like, you know, when like the Emperor died a couple of movies ago. I know it's a bigger deal, but you know what I mean? Like, you've got this storyline for the new Star Wars where it's like, yeah. Oh, and by the way, this thing that happened like 7 movies back. You're like, oh, okay, sweet. I don't know. I find it jarring.
But that's,
and like I said before, it's the weakest part of that movie. But
and that's why you'd hope that you think of what the purpose of these movies are, the sequel trilogy, because we had an ending. I like that GVP. I think once they decided this was the Skywalker Saga, I was like, okay, I'm glad they brought GVP back, because otherwise, what is the saga really about? He's the main antagonist, right? So that's why I was fine with them bringing him back. But I think when they would have started episode 7 and they would have thought about Rey and Finn and Poe and been like, okay, but what is the conflict now? You started off with what is it now? What is the point of this? Then you don't have to bring GVP back. Snoke could be the big bad guy. Why is Snoke the big bad guy? Oh, because he was living in the unknown regions. What was he doing out there? He was a lifeless soul out there, and then somehow, but think of this. They could be like Ezra and Thrawn accidentally awoken this creature in deep space in the unknown regions. And like you could connect, and all of a sudden it's like, Snoke's explanation for why he hasn't been around all this time, good. New conflict coming. Yuuzhan Vong style, right? Like, just this thing is coming from another place. It just, it's just idea. But like, they decided that they were going to keep it the Skywalker Saga and this small little bubble. And when you make it that small little bubble, everyone's got to be related to everybody, and Palpatine's got to be the big bad.
I just don't know what to say. It's like, I can't wait till we can move on to like a whole new storyline. Like, I want to know more about these characters. Don't get me wrong. Like, what am I excited about? Oh, I mean, like the Rise of Kylo Ren comic series. Like, this is awesome. This is fun. And learning about the Clone Wars, I'm like, oh, let's see that. Yeah, tell me more. But I don't know. It's I going back, I feel like I'm just going in a loop. I can't wait for this book to come out and just read it. I want all those little extra details because I think they add to it and they make things better. So yeah,
fair enough. I'm dying to read. I read The Last Jedi, I read The Force Awakens. I own all the other books I have. I do like reading these books. I just think it's all relaxed. Come down. Palpatine was a clone. That's great. I mean, like, I don't know what explanation you were going to get in the book from him, because the movie didn't seem to care. Why would anything? Like, maybe we're going to get like a comic series about how he came back, and again, you just mentioned the Clone Wars. Like, give us another animated series in between whatever, tying things together. Maybe Palpatine's Return is one of those. Maybe Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker is one of those. Just give us stuff like that. I know you want to focus on High Republic, and I'm all for High Republic, but Star Wars is still Star Wars, and there are still pieces of Star Wars that need to be explored and defined, and they have an opportunity now to set us up with all these characters that we love. And just keep milking the space cow.
Palpatine just bores me, man. Like, really, like, he was a great villain in the movie. I'm not fighting that, but when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I'm so bored. Though I will, like, again, you can win me back. Rebels, they do the Starbridge thing, the world between worlds, the world beside, whatever it's called.
Oh, that's
that
reference in the book.
To know about that.
I believe that's referenced in this novelization.
But you know what I mean? Like, let's look at that. I don't want to know his plan. His plan is BS, I think. Quite frankly, like, the more we get, he's a great villain in Return of the Jedi and the prequels and, Clone Wars or whatever. Like, the more we add to it, we destroy these characters. So, because like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like getting a backstory on what he does in between. Like, yeah, I would watch it, and I would love. You could put it in the background of like, what is Luke doing at this time? What is Leia doing? But I don't know, man. I don't care. Maybe I'm just tired right now. I don't know.
I think you're tired because I think no, and I don't mean just show us what's going on, but Kylo's looking for that Wayfinder. I think that could be a fun story to watch, like in the Clone Wars, and I think there are avenues to explore. I mean, in between Jedi and Force Awakens, there's so much there. You know, there's a lot there that we can watch kind of fleshed out. I know we got the Aftermath stuff, but even after the Aftermath books, there's still like 15 years. Like there's a long period of time for them to explore and show us while they're giving us this new High Republic stuff and establishing that. I will say though, if they want to go all in on the High Republic, and actually I want to ask the chat this, Brock, and I'll ask you, if they go all in on the High Republic and kind of just let this Skywalker Saga be what it is right now, are you satisfied, and is everybody in the chat satisfied? Let me know.
Like I said, I think we just need to move on and do a whole new thing. And I think you can do that in the High Republic, but at the same note, like, there's no reason to not make a new movie series. Like, take a break, totally fine. 2022. Like, we got spoiled in the last decade. It wouldn't kill us to have like 3 years in between movies coming out. It really wouldn't. I don't know.
Especially with all the books that we get now.
Yeah, so like, but the books, let's do it. I don't know. What's the worst that could happen? They put out 3 books, they don't do well, and then we just move on. Or they make it on the side, but they don't make it the forefront. I don't know. I think they should be firing on all cylinders. It's like, make content, make comics, make books, make audiobooks, podcasts, like, you know, like those Wolverine podcasts with Marvel, like make what are those called, like theater or radio plays, and then make movies, like just make it. Yeah, maybe it's too much, but there's 8 Fast and the Furious.
9, man, 9. The Fast Saga, Brock. It's called the Fast Saga now.
Great, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like they exist. Yeah. There's 4 Sharknadoes. Like, it's just the world we live in, and yeah.
I think there's more Sharknadoes than 4.
Yeah, so it's just like, yes. Make more. I'm very excited for High Republic. I really am. I still hate the name, but whatever. Like, it could be fun.
Well, 4-Leaf Clover says this right here. I'm a movie fan primarily there. I've admitted it finally. And I think that's fair. I think a lot of Star Wars fans are. I think a lot of Star Wars fans have come from other mediums for sure, but I think most people are ultimately the film fans, and that's what they go to Star Wars for. And I think that's what makes me most curious about the High Republic, is why are they not? Well, will it ever bleed into a movie? You know, like, that's where the bread and butter is always going to be. That's where it's going to be taken more seriously, as in a movie. So you can make as many books and they can be as amazing as they can be, but until it's theatrical, it won't be as acknowledged or respected the same.
Yeah.
Just reading the chat. Most people are fine with it either way. Whether Jonathan Davis has got to drive. Thanks for listening. He's going to keep listening. Don't forget Tom and Jerry, the Fast and the Furriest. Heidi, I don't know why I read that. I thought Han and Chewie were the Fast and the Furry. What is happening? Yeah. The chat's been overrun with dad jokes. Basically. That's where we. But did anybody in the chat go to C2E2 and get a copy of this book? Like, anybody out there? The Fast Saga, really, there are 5 or 6 Sharknadoes. There's so many Sharknadoes. It is insane. Somebody said, I've got to go up here. I think it was Rachel. Rachel says, "Hey, what do you guys think about the idea of Anakin and Kenobi being a dyad in a different way, a different type of Force dyad? Do you think that's a possibility, Brock?"
Maybe. I don't know. It's like I still do we have a definition of what a Force dyad is besides they're just close? Like
I think it's an excuse for them to be able to Force Skype.
yeah, okay, but I guess I don't know. I don't hate it, but I that's one thing I hope High Republic delivers, like explanation of these things that they've made up for the new trilogies. Like, yeah, what is that? Like, tell me more. So if we're focusing on their ability to like connect through the Force and sort of bring each other to where they are, I don't know. Like Anakin and Obi-Wan never really did that. Like, really sweet.
Well, I do think that it was a missed opportunity to not make Rey a Kenobi instead of a Palpatine. Because I know from the 4 years in between Force Awakens and this one that I think those were the two biggest front runners of who she was. Skywalker, I think, kind of was top, and then it kind of went away, and Solo was up there, and then that went away. And then, our very first ever vote of no confidence was just Andrew Fantasia talking like this and arguing the points of is she a Kenobi or is she a Palpatine? And ultimately, because he's Andrew, he decides she should be a Palpatine, and that's why he'll never be canon. But do you think it was a missed opportunity to make her a Kenobi instead of a Palpatine, and then you would have the Anakin, the Skywalker, and the Kenobi relationship come full circle, which it kind of does when on the Death Star ruins with all they have that big epic battle in the water, whereas Kenobi and Anakin have it on lava.
Yeah, I guess. Reaching. I don't know. Because it's sort of like just sort of thinking of thinking of the dyad, I can't think of how it's a relationship where it's not adversarial, since that's kind of what Kylo and Rey have for most of the movie. You know what I mean? They are connected and they want to be together in a sense, in two different ways of it, but they're just constantly fighting. That it's just like until they realize that there's a reason they're connected, they don't really stop fighting. So it's like it's hard to compare that to Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan and Anakin, because up until Mustafar, you don't really see. I'm maybe my opinion will change within this season of Clone Wars, because there does seem to be some butting of heads, especially later in season 6 and in the first 2 episodes here. But I don't know. Again, I think that's the problem, is like I don't really understand what a dyad is. It just feels
I think they're just connected in the Force, and they're two halves of the same coin. I think that's all the dyad is. I honestly really think that the dyad was just an excuse for them to be able to do what they do in the movies. Communicate. Yeah. Like that was it, right?
So like if we're comparing Obi-Wan and Anakin, then why in the 20 years between Attack of the Clones and New Hope do they not connect at some point? Or maybe they do, and then that's what Obi-Wan's going to be about. That I can get on board with, because it'd be like, that would be what? Well, I know it seems bogus on my end because I'm being pretty negative Nelly right now, but like,
well,
kind of makes sense. We don't know that actually exists. So,
well, they could have done something like they were a dyad in the Force unknowingly and not very powerful, but just kind of they were both connected strongly in the Force, Kenobi and Skywalker. And then the actions of one dictate the future of both, right? So Anakin falls to the dark side, Kenobi leaves him for dead, and they kind of separate. And then the Force has to correct this and fix itself to bring the balance back to it, the dyad back to it. And then so it brings the offspring of the Kenobi and the offspring of a Skywalker to come back together. And then from there, their stories kind of bleed right back into where they started, and then it ends with Ben and Rey together.
I mean, I think I could buy it if in Phantom Menace, then Obi-Wan's kind of like reluctant to. And I always felt like he was kind of reluctant to do anything with him in Phantom Menace. The relationship is fantastic, and I think it's one of the best part of the Clone Wars show. Can you tell I love the Clone Wars show? I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a possibility, but I don't think we know enough about a dyad to. I hate saying it. I hate these.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know anything, so you
words.
could you could just go in and make it whatever you want and retcon whatever you want and make it fit, like make everything fit into your story. And I sooner Thrawn kind of brought this up. I hope the dyad is in some way explored or explained, not necessarily the Rey and Kylo dyad, but like just a dyad itself in the High Republic. I hope we get some of that in that franchise, in that saga.
I think they can, and especially with like Obi-Wan trying to understand. I'm trying to think of what he does, because I just watched the episode where like Yoda is understanding, like becoming one with the Force. Like Obi-Wan could go really, the series could go into like the mysticism of the Force, which I think they should definitely explore. But yeah, I agree. Like High Republic is where we can learn a lot more of the history of the Force.
Yeah. There's so many, and don't forget, it's called Project Luminous. Like that's what they hid it under, right? And I don't know if that was just to mislead people or not, but I really feel like that Project Luminous title has a lot to do with the undertow of the High Republic itself.
Am I crazy? I don't know why I said am I crazy. Am I crazy?
You are crazy.
But
yes.
like the logo you see for High Republic, is that totally new? Like that's not reminiscent of anything else. Right?
I
like
want to say it's. I want to say it's totally new.
Yeah, I mean it's got like, it looks like a sun. Sun is luminous, I suppose. But I agree with you. I think there's something there. Like, I mean, especially if it's going to be a project about like formed around like the books and comics, like writers love little hints like that, you know, like especially literary, like it's like, oh, I get it now. So, and you know, it's just I can just straight up tell you, like it's like, oh, once you read the secrets of these books, everything will be illuminated, and it'll be like I would love that. I hope that is the case. I don't know.
Yeah, we're in for. I think we are, and you know, like Forleaf was saying, I'm fully, you know, more into the movies and stuff. I just think with this High Republic, we are in for a real treat as Star Wars fans, and I think they're going to develop. I think this world, and I think I say this on either episode 157, which will go up tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, live chat with it. That I really hope they treat future movies like this. Like, just get a room of like 20 of your top tier writers, storytellers, Star Wars minds, throw them in a room, have that whiteboard, throw it up, and don't map out a movie. Map out a time period, and then hire someone to come in and make a movie in that time period, and here are your pieces to the puzzle. Hire that one to come and make your pieces of the puzzle. And I just keep hitting this microphone. Oh my God. I that's how I hope they treat it from now on. Because I think, you know, one of the setbacks with the sequel trilogy was that not sequel trilogy, but with the novels and the canon surrounding it, was that they had to fill in these gaps left open by George Lucas for one reason or another. And I think they were a little bit afraid to kind of close it on some and didn't want to reveal too much because I don't think there was a pure understanding. But now when you start from scratch, you get to do it all from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, look at The Mandalorian. He just made a new story, and it was good. So just do that with movies. Do it. Do a Solo 2. Like, really? What is that risk? Do a Solo 2. Like, people won't go see it.
But do a Solo 2.
I was going to say, people saw Cats. People didn't really see Cats.
No, they didn't go see Cats. No, but you know what? Make a Solo 2. Make the budget not $1 billion to start with, and make it. You want $1 billion Solo movie?
I don't know. I'll take any movie. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
No, I know it doesn't matter to you.
I'd like fan movie about the stormtrooper in the woods, and then Ewok eats another stormtrooper. I'm like, yeah, that was good. Like, you can make whatever as long as it's engaging. That's all we need.
That's true.
Like, I don't know. It's yeah.
Will the Syndicate be explored more in the High Republic? Maybe they'll be the villains. The villains of the High Republic are the Niles.
The Nihils.
The Nihils. Do you think? I think Sooner Thrawn had a point about that. Do you think that they'll be? What? I can't find it. This chat is moving. It'll be like Darth Nihilus. Do you think that they'll be connected to that at all?
It's not terrible. I'm trying to think what I remember of that.
I think names in Star Wars are getting too similar to each other. They're all the same 3 names.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give me more Kira. Rachel wants more. Give me more Kira all day, every day. I think it doesn't matter how you feel about Solo. Everybody wants more Kira. Everybody.
Yeah. What is she doing right now? She's making a Christmas. She made a Christmas movie. What else should she be working on?
I don't know. Let her agent.
Why not?
Sooner Thrawn, it would be cool to see maybe TV or films develop from books, not the other way around. That's another interesting thing, Brock. Do you think there's a possibility that they make these and then they're like, you know what, let's just freaking adapt the material that we have, and they adapt? That would be bizarrely cool to see in Star Wars if they're like, yeah, we have this High Republic thing, let's just make this saga a bunch of movies.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, if they can make a successful book series and then make it into a movie series, it's just like they're like, and we will be printing our own money now, like, to have like a success and then make another success out of a success, and not, it's all your original IP. Like, that's genius. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you could say Game of Thrones did that, but like Game of Thrones doesn't have its own streaming service, so like it's interesting. It's sort of like, or like, I know we're talking books. Like, books is sort of like, it's like an incubation period, and like, we'll see what happens. And it grows. What's the worst that could happen? Like, nobody reads your book. That's impossible. It's Star Wars, so it's like that episode of South Park with the underpants gnomes, where it's like, first we get the underpants, then something, then money. It's like, I feel like that's what Star Wars is like. Financials, like, we're Star Wars. Like, put logo on thing, make money. That's the plan. And I know it's not that, but you know what I mean? It's like, you stamp Star Wars on something, it's probably gonna do well.
Yeah, I'm looking around this room and I'm like, I have so much Star Wars stuff here for no. Look at this. It's a tea towel. You can't see it, Brock, but it says, "May the forks be with you." It's a tea
it wouldn't
towel.
be a live stream if you didn't pick up something off the set. Look at this.
It's true. I could pick something else up. No, I'm not going to though.
But yeah, like in Canada, one of our phone companies is Bell. They'll, every time a movie comes out, they'll have ads with Star Wars stuff on it, but it has nothing like it. There's nothing exclusive to Bell about Star Wars. They just have the rights to throw it on their advertisements. It's not like you can get like a Rise of Skywalker official cell phone. It's nothing.
I think they do though. Samsung made one.
Did they? But like, the ads never push anything. They're just like Star Wars.
Oh, it was probably a American exclusive.
America. So yeah, it's interesting.
I'm just
Put
looking.
Star Wars on things, sell bananas.
It's there's so much of a delay. I'm just looking. Right now, the feed is at where I pick up the tea towel. There is no end. LOL. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. There is a fan film where an Ewok eats a stormtrooper. I do want to see that fan film. By the way, Battlefront 2, the updates on it are wild. If you're still playing Battlefront 2, if you're not, put it back in your your PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you're playing on, and play it because it is wild. Ewok Hunt is permanently there now, and they've upgraded and made updates, and it's
Nice.
pretty awesome. And you have a horn, and you can blow on it, and it's a lot of fun. And that's what.
Yeah.
Many films are adapted from books, and none of those films are good. What? I didn't say that. That's the one thing they'll guarantee, though, when Star Wars adapts a movie from a book, is everybody will say, well, the book was better, and this will be a book that everybody hated when it first came out. That you can put your money on. The book will be seen as the greatest thing of all time. I really hope they go back to what they did with Shadows of the Empire. I keep coming back to this. I just hope they have a universe that is all-encompassing of books, film, TV, movies, soundtracks, podcasts, everything, just put it all together. They did the radio drama with Dooku, and then they turned it into a novel, but they did the thing with Dooku, so I would just love like a whole one storyline told on different mediums like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm all for it.
Rez says it was the worst Ewok horn ever. Rez is now banned from the channel.
Okay.
In 4 different systems.
We don't want it, man.
Where nobody wants us. That hurts. That's hurtful. Anything else you want to add to anything that we're talking about today, Brock?
No.
It's so.
I mean, I'm excited for this stuff to come out. We don't
August
get the
25th.
first one in August, right?
Yeah.
And, that'll hopefully something will be in Anaheim because that's roughly the same time as Celebration. So, yeah. But yeah. When does the novelization come out?
August 25th.
No, sorry. I was talking about the Charles Soule High Republic. That comes out in August, yeah?
That's the first novel. He does the first novel.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of falls after that.
But then when does Rise of Skywalker come out?
End of the month. I think the 25th, I want to say. Let me put it in. Rise of Skywalker. Wow. Okay, where'd it go? Novelization for the Rise of Skywalker hits shelves on... Everyone just keep calm. Here we go. It's got 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads already. Like, what? I don't know. End of the month.
Cool.
Does anyone know? People are probably like, I know when. Why aren't you reading the chat? Amazon.ca. Here we go. Canadian. Can you imagine a universe of Star Wars where everything is canon? I think Animated Joy, I think that's what they're trying to do now, and they're working their way towards. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. March 17th, you'll get the Rise of Skywalker Expanded Edition. You'll get it from Amazon on March 17th. $37.27. Holy Cracker Jacks. $16.99 on Kindle. Regular $30.99 on Kindle. What is going on here? It's a book. The Art of comes out on March 31st. The Art of. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, the chat's caught up with us now. It's March 17th. Sooner Thrawn, Rural Farm Boy, Four-Leaf Clover, St. Patrick's Day. It comes out on a St. Patrick's Day, Monday. It's whatever it is. So, okay, St. Patty's Day it's coming out. So I'll be drinking green beer and reading about Irish Jedi.
This is the content we create.
You can't hear. I'm playing music right now.
Great.
All right, Brock, we're going to wrap it up. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody in the chat. It has been a lot of fun watching what's been going on down there all evening. Great comments, great conversations. If you want to keep this going, well, I don't think it can. It stops. Continue it over on Twitter or in the comments down below. You can email us, rebelscumbags@gmail.com. Tomorrow night, episode 157 of the Rebel Scum podcast is going to be up 7 p.m. Eastern. There will be a live chat there. You continue it there. And Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, there will also be episode 158 with a live chat. For those, we're going to be talking High Republic on one and Future of Star Wars after Bob Iger on the other. I think both of them, Brock, are very fun. They're like ice cream, I think. They're like ice cream cones. These 2 episodes. They're not heavy.
Okay. One is double scoops. I don't know.
All right. All right, we're going to say goodnight. Everybody have a very good evening. May the force of others be with you. And Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.